And we are live, maybe. Eventually. Are we live? What's going on, guys? It's been a minute since we've been, well, I've not really been, I've been live. When I go live last time was just after my fast. I did a live stream. Let's check this. Working. Hey, guys. Hey, Marco. What's up, people? Thought it's about time we got back on the camera. Been in my own world, doing my own thing for a while. I have these periods when I hammer out content, like when I was in Ibiza and I was vlogging every day and I was enjoying it, and then it sort of burns me out, and then I go months without it. Okay. You live in the blogs. Thanks, Matt. I'll go from the top here and I'll just work my way. Yo, Peter, Craig, what's up? Hope you got a question ready now. Ben, yeah, as I said, covering any topics you want, anything we want to chat about, we can have a talk about. This is for my viewers, the ones that are still here. You know, there's still a lot of you, and a lot of you don't care about some of the other stuff that's going on. You just follow me for me, and I shouldn't disappear for that. I won't be guided by fear. Eva, what's up, Eva? Big up yourself. Yeah, right. No, I haven't heard of that book, Empath. Oh, new album. Oh, check out an album for sure. Thanks for the recommendation. What up, JEM? Gem. Makeup for the Terrified. Nicola, I'm not doing this season of Ninja Warrior that is airing right now. I'm not in that. I was fasting. I just finished just when they started filming it, and they called me to do it, and I was not in that space for it. So the one airing in the UK I wasn't on, but that doesn't mean to say in the future it won't happen. Why am I wearing a vegan t-shirt in my avatar? I like the picture. And I'm proud of my vegan time. I'm happy. It's an important chapter of my life. I'm proud of it. It's like, yeah, I'm not vegan now, but people wear marathon t-shirts and they're not running marathons, so they're not marathon runners anymore. I don't know. I don't wear it in public, but I like the picture. When I get a new picture, I'll change it, but I'm not going to change it for the sake of it. Yo, Peter, James, Invertus, Robert Waters. I haven't trained jiu-jitsu yet. I've watched the Choke documentary, though. It was very inspiring. I do want to try it at some stage. I think a martial art in my life could do me a lot of good. Mr. Pandalific, how am I feeling? I'm all right. I'm not bad. Been better, I've been worse. It's a very interesting time. I feel like I'm a pretty balanced, as much as people can project onto me their own imbalances, I'm a pretty balanced, grounded human being. And I spend a lot of time in nature and in mountains on my own. And I feel like that does a lot to ground me and anchors me in my soul and in knowing who I am. But the last few months has been a real test of that grounding and how anchored I am, how much I know my own truth and how much that matters more than what other people think of me. And it's been a crazy time, man, but it's nothing I've not been able to handle and I've not been anticipating in a way. Which vegan YouTuber are you most surprised turning their back on you for trying to fix your health? It's a good question. To be honest, I haven't watched the videos. I see comments that leak through Instagram and stuff like that. I see who's made videos, but I've not watched them. So people like Ted Carr have made a few videos, and he's always been a very good friend of mine. So I don't know what he said in the videos, whether it would be rude or not, but someone like him speaking about it, but I'm sure he's got his own positive spin on it, trying to help. So maybe not him, but most of them aren't surprising. What up, Elisa? Why don't I want Ninja Warrior? Yeah, as I said, it was just after the fast. Do I miss Storm? I miss the parkour days for sure, and I miss those boys, but I don't miss. It's not like miss. I've got other things that are more, you're into different chapters, but certainly those were precious days of my life that would be cool to try again. Love from Sweden. What up, Joel? Have I tried raw meat? It's awesome. Yeah, I have actually sampled a bit, but not on that wave. Not quite. How do you get on with the Vivos, mate? Yes, Matt. Try and work through this. It jumped. Vivos are great. Great. I did a photo shoot for Vivo in Madeira. That was really cool. And they're awesome shoes. I'm looking at this. I should be looking at. Yeah, not completely barefoot, but minimal shoes, wide toe box. I think there's definitely a transition period you need to have with them, whereas you keep your old trainers and spend a few days with the Vivos, a few days with not. But overall, great company, great ethos. A lot of their shoes are made completely from recycled bottles and things like that, so they've got some really good environmental implications. They are expensive, but they are quality made. I've spent time with, some of the real high ups, sort of co-founders within the company, and I can see the ethos is very, very grounded, caring company with a very bright future, and they're doing a lot of smart things. So I do really like Vivo. To me, you're doing keto or a specific diet. I have done in and out of keto. Keto is a very powerful healing diet, similar to the way when you first go vegan, if you're eating a whole food plant-based vegan diet. I think both of those are great healing tools and incredible short-term implications. I don't know how they are long-term. Some people seem to get good long-term benefits, but I think seasonally, if you look at the seasons, we would be more ketogenic during the winters and more vegan during the summers. So I think this going on a seasonal diet, letting that imply, so maybe something like that. But I've done keto for several months and felt actually some of the best I've felt in a long time on that diet. If you saw some of my results, I had poor absorption to carbohydrates, which is probably because I was over consuming carbohydrates for so many years. That actually keto works good for me at the moment. What are my main goals at the moment? I've got my main goals are pilgrimages. So on the path of like looking at ancestral healing, things our ancestors did commonly that some of us still do today, but go more unnoticed, or they're not popularized, things like pilgrimages. So long, multiple day walks on your own, time with yourself, time with nature, to get to the root of yourself, to spend time with yourself, a bit of a walking meditation. So there's the Santiago. I'm not going to do the Santiago one just yet. That's like the famous Spanish one, which that book's about. I'm reading that book at the moment. I'm going to do some UK ones. Although I wasn't born in the UK, my parents are from Derby, and I feel like a dog. My soul's from here. So for this lifetime anyway, I feel like I'm meant to explore the UK. And the more I traveled loads in my early 20s, and the more lately I'm exploring the UK, I don't feel like traveling abroad as much. Great Britain is my favorite island, or the UK is my favorite island. And so I've got the first pilgrimage I want to do is Pennine Way, which is from the Peak District to Scotland, which is like 300 miles. I want to do that next month, just on my own with a backpack, no friends, I won't capture that one. I want to film some stuff, but I want to do one without a camera. And I think this has been a good time for me to get off camera and keep going within and keep digging deep into who I am. Am I eating beef yet? I have eaten beef, and truthfully, when I get out of my mind and I look around, like I get the issues some people have with beef, and emotionally I get it with the cow. I'm one human. I had to try some things, and when I look around, there's loads of cows in fields. They're not factory raised. They're all local farms. So I've tried that, and it was my body did appreciate it. And it's something I grew up on. I wonder if that says something. And it's something my ancestors would have eaten. Have I tried DMT? Yes, I have done DMT. I've smoked it. In one sitting, I did twice on a pipe, and it was a really cool journey, and it helped me out a lot at the time. And we'll talk about that another time, maybe. Hey, brother, you have a great birthday. Right, what up, Shipwrecked? Yes, big up Shipwrecked. Helped me make some intros to my videos back in the day, and done some show reels and stuff. My birthday was amazing this year. One of the best birthdays I ever had. I went to Snowdon with 5 friends, and we drove west, and we went up the Watkin Path, my favorite path up Snowdon, and we had a few mushrooms and some nibbles and a few chiefs, and we got to the top, and everyone felt strong. And it's really strange. No expectations. We're going to go back down the same path, and we all felt good. So we went down the Crib Goch, And most people don't go down crib graft. And big up Jamie, who just had shoulder surgery a couple of weeks before and went down crib graft, which is harder than going up it, and was in a sling the whole way. If you know about that route, then you know. He got called the stupidest man on the mountain by someone, poor guy, but he's a brave soldier in my eyes. Am I depressed these days? I tell you what, I'm a lot less depressed than I was for the last 2 years. The last 2017, 2018 was the most depressed, like long stuck in the depression of my life. I felt down in the past, but that was just like a looming, impending doom within my body. That was my body shutting down, bringing everything down. Do you still use a distiller and earthing sheet? That is a great question from Stefan. So those that know about that stuff, that's what I'm sure some of you are here for, those kind of questions. I do still use a distiller. I use a Mega Home distiller. I need to put a link to it below because I've had it for 5 years, maybe more now, and it still works great. And here's one fact, one key thing that I have changed about distilled water is I remineralize it with salt now. So I will, in time, at the right time, do something more in depth on this. But I would 100% recommend remineralizing distilled water with salt, and that's something that I have to stay open to correcting. And as I grow and learn, I correct my mistakes. I'm not afraid and ashamed to do that. So if you're using distiller at the moment, from my recommendation, please think about or try adding some salts and Celtic sea salt or Himalayan salt. Not loads, but just a bit, so that there's a fine line between like tasting like seawater and actually just tastes like a slick, and it becomes like a slick, alive liquid. That's very good. Why are you so inconsistent with regard to your fitness journey? For example, free running, long distance running, and now CrossFit. You see that as inconsistency. That's funny, Adam. I see that as I like to enjoy all these sports are beautiful. Free running is a beautiful thing. Long distance running is a beautiful thing. CrossFit is a beautiful practice. And these are like little pockets of communities that you go into and you go, wow, there's some cool people here. There's some incredible athletes. Even like UFC, I don't partake in it, but I watch it and I study it and I see the mindsets of the athletes. And I just think there's so many beautiful sports and art forms and practices and physical movements in the world. And so many interesting people that do them that, you look at CrossFit, you look at someone like Matt Fraser, you look at the mindset of the guy, his mental attitude. And I just love studying and understanding the way the top athletes' minds work. Someone like Kilian Jornet, who's sort of, everyone knows him as the best mountain runner pretty much of all time, who just broke the Bob Graham record last year. Like, what do you attribute his success to? I think that the best runners have almost the most balanced upbringings or something, that he spent time in the mountains as a kid. His parents really loved him. And some of the best fighters have some of the biggest emotional issues with their parents and stuff like that. And I'm not saying it's in all cases, and I don't mean to be seeming to throw shade. I respect them all. I just like to understand what makes someone good at what sport. Free runners are often sort of outcasts from all sports, but they have this rebel desire to conquer whatever environment they're in. And then for me, that transcended over to conquering mountainous environments from city environments as I got more into nature. How you're feeling? Did you speak with your friend Bonnie when she was making a difficult... Bonnie, I'm assuming you mean Bonnie Rebecca. I've never spoke with Bonnie before. And I guess she was one of the first people, vegans that spoke about being ex-vegan. No, I didn't speak to her. Who else? Kalel spoke about it. I spoke with Kalel about it. Waste not, want not t-shirt, yeah. Welcome back, homie. What up, Jonathan? Gigi Tom, yo, man. Plan any fan meetups in Derby? One, I really don't like the word fan. I think, no, I don't mean, I get what you're saying, Tom, and we are going to have some meetups, but I would never call it like the fan culture thing. Is a very strange modern ideology, isn't it? That it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just being fussy about wording, but there's like that ideology. It's just like you're humans and yeah, I guess someone can inspire you and that's what makes you like that. But but anyway, there's nothing planned at the moment. I wanted to do a 420 meetup, but it didn't happen. What up, Summer? Theme park, you're not vegan anymore. No. Jay Kane, my man, how's it going? It's all right, man. You're a great lager. Thank you, Michael. Hey, from Colombia. I tried eating eggs again and noticed my erections got harder. Have you had a similar experience? Yeah, I guess so. Something in it. a few people, well, quite a few people messaged me saying that they've eaten animal products again since after being years a vegan and felt vigor come back into their body. As a vegan, I can't really understand how people hate on you because you're not vegan. It's your life, it's your journey. Thank you, Marco. Yeah, I appreciate that. I thought a lot of the mindset that led me to veganism was understanding, and I tried to hold that while I remained vegan. And it seems as though there are people within that community that find it hard to remain understanding, and yet with the vegan idea, you want people to understand you, but then you sometimes refuse to understand them and listen to them. And when I was truly telling you I had health issues and that I tried other things to fix them, and then the one thing that fixed them or put me from going in this direction to actually staying in this direction or starting to go this. Sorry, I'm moody. I've been in the allotment today with down to earth Jamie. We've been doing some. I need to wash that before yoga. But yeah, I was going in this direction with my health slowly over time, the last 3 years, and then tried things that slowed it down. Urine therapy slowed it down. Fasting relieved the symptoms, but I had no energy for life. Can't do anything else. Hey, animal product. Tried supplements again. Didn't notice much. Didn't notice any difference, if I'm honest. Animal products. One day, boom, like that. Like, you can tell me all the doctor reports on health things you want, and I don't mean to hammer this message home, but I am a human who spent a lot of time listening to my body, studying my body, been a full-time athlete with a lot of free time. I've dedicated. I feel like a squire to Da Vinci in the way I study my body and sample what things go in and experiment and see where my mind goes and where my body goes and how my recovery and how my flexibility and all this stuff, and go to yoga regularly and run it regularly. These are my practices that I do on a regular basis to test what is working, and diet is massively important to get right. And have you started eating meat daily or put it back in full time? Does that make sense? Yes, I'm currently eating meat daily. I go to Betty's every few days. I buy a big tray of eggs and some minced turkey, and I buy wild salmon from Sainsbury's, and I buy veg from Betty's, and it's all like when I'm out on the road, I'm just going to make life easier. Unless sometimes I make a little packed lunch and take stuff with me, but Betty's, most of the stuff is, no packaging, no plastic packaging. There's so many other things we can try and do, and it's I'm not telling that. Here's the thing with ethics, and when I took the eye out of ethics, that people just never grasp. It's about everyone has their personal way of trying to be ethical, or at some stage in their life, they start to become more conscious of their choices and they aim to be ethical. And that as long as everyone just supports what everyone else is doing that's positive and doesn't judge them for anything they're doing that they don't agree with, that's removing the I. It's not saying my ethics is better than your ethics. You need to join my ethics. It's removing the I from your own judgments of others and saying everyone's ethics is individual. But people never seem to get that. And there's ethics. The ethics are in non-judgment. That's the message, not in what we're actually doing or trying. To me, you're interested in practicing paganism. I see reference it. Yeah, I wouldn't exactly know what the practice of paganism is, but I do certainly put appreciation on the solstices, and I notice when the full moons and the new moons are, and put intentions out. Yeah. Peter V, great interview with Julie. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, for anyone wanting to see more, I did an interview with Vice. Vice, you probably know them. I'll put a link down here. Let's do it. And it was with Julie Adenuga, who's the sister of my friends Jamie and Skepta. Vice, I got cancelled. Now, I don't choose the title of the video. I got cancelled. I know it makes me look like I'm sour, but I'm not sour. If you watch the interview, you'll see. But this one was a far better interview. I knew Julie would be nice. Vice, my friend Alex at Vice did it, and they're supportive. They're a cool crew, and there you go. I put a link down below. If you want to watch an interview with me that's more balanced, watch that. This morning, yes, Mick, you got some salad for me. I'll take that, bro. Look, Mick, I got to pick some nettles early. I'm going to make some nettle tea. That's so good for my gut. I can feel that when I brew up the nettles. Nice nettle tea. This morning, right, the reason I went on that show, fully my belief, the diet long term caused me issues. I tried everything to solve it. And I really hate to harp on that moment, but that has to be understood, that is where my mind is at, and that is the case. Others can choose a vegan diet, that's fine, that's their choice. I just want people to be aware before they get as desperate as me for healing, that they will be open to trying stepping out of veganism as their box of their lifestyle choice, if they're struggling to maintain the vegan diet, if they're struggling to stay healthy, if they're vegan and struggling to stay healthy and they notice issues arising. I want people to question the diet quicker than it took me to question the diet, because it took me years. And I'm not salty and I'm not bitter, but I took years off of my prime of my athletic career is probably 25 to 30. And I probably sacrificed that for this quest, this journey that I could correct all of our ancestors' history. And it's cool because it was a beautiful journey and I met some amazing people and I've had a blast, and the journey continues. And I learned a lot about myself and about life and about spirituality and about ego and about beliefs and the nature of the universe and all this stuff. So it's been a crazy journey, but I went on there, and I don't choose the title of it. So I know when it looks vegan made me sick, it looks like the ultimate enemy of veganism, and I'm really not trying to be that guy. You know, it's obviously the way they set it up is to look a certain way, but I'm just here because a lot of people are choosing this lifestyle and this diet, and it's being made out as though it's the easiest thing to uphold. You're going to be healthy and thrive for the rest of your life. And people are raising families and children with this lifestyle. And as someone who has had the freedom to commit myself to understanding the depths of veganism, whole food, plant-based, high carb, raw veganism, you know, maybe if you're born and raised a certain way, your stomach's wired a certain way, if your genetics are a certain way, but coming from where I've been raised, or what my grandparents ate, or my ancestors, or my bloodline, or my blood type, it was the diet that failed me, that failed me long term. And that doesn't mean I don't care about the earth. That doesn't mean I don't care about animals and all that stuff, because I do care about all of that stuff. I had to come out of the diet to understand that even when I was vegan, my choices were still harming animals. And I'm not saying one's right or wrong and one's better or worse. I'm just saying that even though I was vegan, I didn't realize it, and I was still harming animals, and unconsciously. And I was, and also with the amount of rise of capitalism within the community, within the movement itself, and companies cottoning on to just being able, as long as they can pass the test to put a V on the label, people will buy it and support it. And it isn't necessarily good for humans' health, and that's first and foremost. We need healthy humans to make a healthy earth. Secondly, the products have deaths on their hands anyway, very likely with a lot of products. And I am into speciesism. I'm not saying entirely I think about speciesism as though, yes, you know, I don't like killing a mosquito. I don't know when the last time, I don't know if I've ever done one since I started being vegan. And it's like, I've never killed I killed a spider maybe when I was 8, and then never since, or younger than that, and then never since. Like, I value animals' lives. Now I just see it as a necessity for me to consume it. So I do that, and then while minimizing when I'm buying plants to consume, that, you know, the source of them, exotic fruits imported from wherever. Like I said in one video, like they were killing deers on a persimmon farm for people's persimmons. How can you ever really know unless you are in your own garden? Someone like Mick, or like that, what I'm getting into now with Jamie, Down to Earth Project. Then when you're in a garden, then you can really see what's going on in the garden, how the animals are a necessity for that, the way the worms interact, how often you'd be cutting through worms, and that's just a part and parcel of the thing. And it's like, how many vegans would be willing to get their hand dirty and accidentally kill a few worms? But it's a necessity. The fact that they're not in touch with that process, they'll pay someone else to do it and then turn a blind eye. But I don't want worms to be hurt for me to, you know, grow some plants in the garden. But there's just no way of avoiding it or going through like a Jane and like, you know, I wanted to believe fruitarian was the true way of life. That made so much sense to me because there was no death in it. But there's no way of avoiding it. And so me avoiding and being in denial of this suffering caused me suffering, and the acceptance of it released me from that. I'll try and move on from that anyway. Are you going to play World of Warcraft Classic? I played World of Warcraft once for like a month, man. It was pretty fun. And I was watching Sword Art Online, and it made me want to get back into it. Long time follower. A huge part of life is about the esoteric and understanding the universe. Want to know your thoughts on why humans are here? What is the purpose of humans, if there is one? Yeah, I think it's something to do with like the ultimate creation is to create something that could then create for itself. So if there is a God, like if we can make a video, we can make video games, but we set algorithms and boundaries to the video game. But the ultimate would be to make a video game, and then within the video game, the characters could create, and you could watch what they're like. Imagine playing Sims and you didn't know what breakdancing was, and then your Sims characters started breakdancing or free running on jumping on the roof of the house in Sims. You'd be like, whoa, you know, you'd be hyped as the creator of Sims that made a game that could create for itself. So I think something along the lines of there's a being creator who created a realm, but his ultimate power was to create beings that could create. So we're on the leading edge of creation with all these philosophies and beliefs, creating for ourselves and movement patterns with this amazing body that we've got to work with. I think that's what we're here to just, we're on the leading edge of creation to go and create and to have fun and to explore this realm that was created for us. Right. Oh, wow. Okay, I thought there was loads of, I'm gonna have to skim through this. Whoa, no idea. Right, okay, I just caught up. That bar misled me. I thought no one was even asking nothing. Are you vegan or not? No one truly is. If we're talking, I mean, I do consume animal products, but if vegan is the diet of not consuming, but if it's the one of least harm, veganism is least harm, then that's what I'm aiming for. You still live in the distilled water and salt. Still climbing. Occasionally, I'm more hiking at the moment. Ted Carr was not nice, was he not? Oh, bless him. Are you working with Dom? Origins of Vitality? No, but I do know that name. Someone said Ted Carr was positive. Someone said he wasn't. Recently stopped veganism and feeling good, but still believe in ethics behind veganism. Your thoughts? Yeah, absolutely agree. I think it's about doing the least harm, and that includes the least harm to yourself, the earth, the animals. It's a dance of all three, and for different people, it's different things, different understandings at different times of life. Let's do the best we can for our communities. I think local, if you can eat local vegan, local omnivore, it's for you, isn't it? Serious question. What does drinking other people's urine benefit you? I don't know about other people's urine. Do you feel guilty about eating meat? It was certainly very weird in the beginning, but I felt really guided by the universe to let it go, because animals were dying for my choices. Whatever diet I was consuming, animals were still being killed. I just wasn't eating them, even though they were dying. So I was like, if I'm suffering and animals are dying, how about we try this, and then animals are dying and it relieves my suffering and the gratitude I was able to eat with. Turning into a wolf. Try to run Trans Gran Canaria. I'd love to run that. Did you ever believe that animal exploitation was wrong? Absolutely. I still believe animal exploitation is wrong. I'm fully with the vegan mindset. I just know that there is no life without death. And now a necessity for my current human to do it. You've chosen your path, and I won't judge you. You didn't judge me for being vegetarian. You helped me go vegan. Well done, avocado man. Many people drink urine for centuries. Yeah, beyond centuries. I've got some books on urine therapy if you want. There's some books on urine therapy. Your Own Perfect Medicine. And then there's this one, The Water of Life. Real game changer. John Armstrong put people on urine fasts, cured people from a day from death's door of cancer. It's just got every case study. This guy did thousands of urine fasts on people in like the 1930s and 40s and healed loads of people. it's not mad, man, but if people are open, they'll do their own research. What is your current diet? Fish meat, eggs. Yeah, mostly veg, salad, fish and eggs. Balearic Islands, any recommendations? I'm not sure which lot of islands that is, but I'd recommend Madeira. Buddhist writings talk about drinking urine. Yeah, I think it's hidden in a lot of history. It is really a form of self-love if you understand it. Any plans to open up more about psychedelics? I'd love to see some videos based on it. I'm in and out of it, but I'm more on like seasonal psychedelics, mushrooms when they come in for the winter, and then, you know, just get them to the everyday life. I want to get on the gardening more. I want to get, you know, just out in nature more. Ravana, please, Tim, what your opinion about Ravana? God bless Ravana, man. I've met Ravana so many times, and she was nothing but a positive, lovely, lovely girl, man. And it's tough because it's a vegan influencer, and to come out of that, there has to be a period where you don't have to announce it on the first day. For someone to expect, if you just had your first bit of whatever non-vegan product you ate and you were contemplating it, you don't have to announce it on the first day. You know, it's tough, man. Humans are humans. Like, we should, you know. I hope she's not. I'm sure. I mean, I know how it's probably been the worst backlash of all. It's probably been for her, man. But she doesn't have to announce on the first day. Like, at some stage she would have announced it, and she would have done it in a mindful way. It's just the universe wanted the news out sooner. This is really a big wave that's happening. It's not these one-off incidences. And the vegans, the mainstream vegans you see, are just a reflection of what's under the surface. Loads of people are leaving veganism. They're just not as willing to talk about it or tell people about it. They don't have to tell anyone about it, so why would they? You know, and they're moving on, and it's sad that there's this bullying going on online that makes people have to feel silent about it, and they feel scared to talk about the health benefits they've had when they've come out of veganism, but they're happy to tell another ex-vegan, but they can't talk to the vegans about it. Have you heard the album Max Miller released before he died? No, but R.I.P. Mac Miller. I liked his album before that, the one with CeeLo and Kendrick on it. Those were really good songs. Where do you draw the line when it comes to too much tech and complex and just turn to nature? Yeah, it's a good question. I came off Instagram for a month. I've been off Instagram now. It was definitely getting a bit. It was, yeah. I'd never come off it since joining it, to be honest, and that's been nice. I've got like some shades. Oh, there we go. The like blue light blocking shades, some Swannies. If you know about the Swan wicks. Just make sure you spend enough time in nature, man. It's all right. Play your video games. I watch a projector rather than a TV, but I'm on the laptop. I'm on the computer. Just have to make sure you go for a walk every day if you can. Make sure you sweat every day if you can. Get into your body. You listen to Russell Brand. I didn't listen to Russell Brand, but actually I listened to the Joe Rogan, Graham Hancock yesterday, and I found that one fascinating. Jesus forgives. Yes, Jesus talks about forgiveness, and that's like the highest form of healing that he talks about. And when I dwell on things like that, or what's the word? Maybe not dwell. I just think about them, because forgiveness is like, the fact to forgive someone else feels like ego, because it's like, who am I to forgive you? And when you know the Toltec 4 agreements, one of the 4 agreements is nothing is personal. So anyone speaking about me, after the coming out not vegan, I try, and I know it's not about me. I get it. It's all about that. It's about the animals, and I understand that mindset. But as a human living in my life, seeing this stuff written about me, it's hard not to feel somewhat attacked and challenged for it, when I know my best interests are the earth, my health, the animals. Like, I have got the best interests at heart. I'm just navigating life's way, showing me how to do this. So if nothing is personal, how can you ever forgive someone? You don't ever forgive someone. The only forgiveness you can have is for yourself. And so that's when, like, for an example, when I first ate animal products, I forgave myself. My choice to exist on this life has consequences that cause harm to the plant that I'm eating, you know, to the animal. To some stage, when I'm walking on the grass, that's causing harm. My choice to exist, there's a consequence. And it was a release. It wasn't awakening. I forgave myself, because even when I was vegan, I was causing harm, but I was in denial of that. So Jesus forgave himself. I guess he forgave, but I guess if someone's stabbing you, like Gandhi or whatever, when he got shot, he forgave the person. That's a real challenge, but it's not personal. I guess I'd say you forgive yourself for being hurt by that person. I understand why I'm upset by people talking about me, so I forgive myself for being upset to release it. In a way, that's one theory. Anyway, when is the hunting video coming? There's no, like, when I said, and I never actually ever stated I wanted to go hunting. Now, I'm open to that. I'm open to, fishing, that sort of connect, so I've got to think about my language here. But when they put it on TV saying I wanted to hunt an animal, that's never what I said. I just said if I'm going to consume animals, I think I should be okay to face it. And it's not that I want to do it. I don't want to hurt anything. I wish it wasn't this way, But it's like, this is a game, man. Life's a crazy game. You try playing GTA and complete GTA and stop at every red light, you're not going to get very far in the game. You got to go through some things in life. You got to, break some eggs. Eating seasonally local macrobiotic. That's the way. Let's if we can all get back to seasonal. I think we got carried away with these supermarkets stocking all of this foreign fruit and processed exotic fruit, exotic meat, exotic processed vegan patties and stuff. Like, we got carried away, man. We got to get seasonal local vegan, seasonal local omnivore. That's where the real change comes from, man. Because veganism gave us the chance to eat everything we ate before, but not really challenge our food demons. We can still eat the macaroni cheese and the burgers, but vegan versions, and the cupcakes and all of that stuff. And you can still eat all the sugar and the gluten that's damaging us, but it's not really the solution. All right, I'll try and run through some of these. Were there any negative financial effects leaving veganism? I mean, I lost my job at Ethics. I was on a salary, the same salary as the other people that were as Benj and Bob, and that went. But there's other shifts. Lake District. I'm trying to complete the Peak District first. I've got this book. Where are you, book? It's hidden under this one. 50 Walks in the Peaks, and I'm ticking them off. There's a few more there that I've sort of done that I've not ticked off yet, but I've done roughly the route. But yeah, I'm trying to get through those 50, tick off the Peak District, and then the Lake District is like a level up from that, and then Scotland's a level after that. So I'm treating life like you treat a game. So that's the 50 missions I've got to complete to complete Peak District. And then the Pennine Way goes up through the middle of it, and then there's a route that's 190 miles that goes all around the outer circumference of the Peak District. And I told myself, when I've completed those three, the 50 routes, the one up and the one, then my map of the Peak District will be locked into my mind, and I could just roam around, and then I can move on to the Lake District. Will you kill a pig live if it's local? No, I don't. I really, I've rarely eaten pig at all, and I don't ever buy it in the supermarket or in the butchers and the farm shop. It's a bit strange. I think I got to start with the fish. I haven't done any exploring in Scotland. I'm interested in Neolithic sites in the UK. Yes, I want to visit Arborough. The Joker got you badly hurt, Tim. Who's the Joker? He's in from Batman. Hey man, I'm on the Earth side. I'm on the human side. If someone had some of these questions. Any trips with Jack O'Connell? Jack called me today, actually, and he wants to get an RV and do some traveling, so maybe. Do I still drink my urine? Sometimes, occasionally. I'm still working out the nuances. Not that often, but I don't need it as much now. I've found part of the answer of what I was looking for. Why is drinking other people's urine healthy? Isn't it a Freemasonic ritual? Well, if it's Freemasonic ritual, it's probably something good then, isn't it? Because they probably keep all the good stuff hidden, so everyone makes a joke out of me doing it publicly, but then they'll do it and understand the healing powers of it. I don't know. It's brotherly love, man. Respect, trusting that your brother is clean. Hey bro, 12-year vegan switch to keto carnivore shortly after you. Mainly because of you and a couple others. Thanks for opening my eyes. I look forward to seeing your progress. Big up for getting through it, man. Yeah, it was your life. Yeah, man, I fully get it. Do you do grounding? Yeah, I walk barefoot daily. I do actually sleep. Someone asked me about the earthen sheet. I never got to that. I do sleep with the earthen sheet. Would you try human meat from a Japanese restaurant? Man, how are people even like talking like that? I feel very nice. That's what I like to hear. Do I practice sun gazing? Sometimes in the morning at night. I don't get, like, I've never promoted that. Like, I've never told people to do it. I've never given a guidebook for how to do it. But looking at the sun, man, day and night, like sunrise, sunset, your eyes tell you when it's painful. They squint for a reason. You don't resist the squint. If you're squinting, then don't stare. But in the morning, sunrise, sunset, you can look at the sun. And it's the giver of life. The sun gives us all life. I'm still friends with King Cook, Jamie, and Benj. Have they disowned me? How could? What do you mean? Mate, what if I've disowned them? Why is it that way around? No. Jay and me, I've hung out with recently, and we got on really well. I love that guy. He's got some new music coming soon, and it's incredibly good, and his videos are good. Are you ejaculating again? I never said I couldn't ejaculate. I just wasn't. I just was in a, when you're in, sometimes on the spiritual journey, you're just not in that space thinking about pussy or something. You know, you're not on that. I wasn't on that, but it just got forced out of me from some hormones, some release of hormones, forced it out. It wanted it out. Can you do an updated video of your diet lifestyle? Yeah, maybe sometimes. What are good for your knees? I think elimination diet's the best thing. Honestly, the biggest cause of issues in the joints is inflammation from foods that we're eating, and that's could be a lot of plant foods, definitely gluten, often things like sugar. But yeah, elimination diet, remove the inflammation, and then your knees should get better, and then just add things slowly back in, and then notice. Look at someone like Michaela Peterson. She had bad arthritis and seems to be fine now. Do you think that sure ethics can apply to many types of ethics? Yes, that was the point. I think if you're not vegan, I know I'm wearing it in my profile picture and I'll change it when the time's right, but I like the picture and I'm proud of my days, but I wouldn't wear it in a vegan t-shirt in the street. But an ethics t-shirt, I use my ethics shopping bag when I'm buying at the local farmer's market. Can you spill more tea? It's not heated yet. I need to cook it. I need to boil it up. Have you noticed anything with your eyes, like lack of focus? I feel better. Well, my focus in like my mind has been better. Found Young Pinch because of you. Yeah, Young Pinch is dope. Who else is like Young Pinch? You've been listening to Trippy Red. I'm sure you probably know him by now. Trippy Red's got some good music. Done to Gather His Way. No, I've not heard that book. I'll have to check it out. Drinking raw milk. I have drank raw milk, but I don't think dairy agrees with me, and I don't think it agrees with most humans, and that's something to that. So I would not. I'm not here to recommend that to anyone. Also, yeah. Will you denounce veganism once and for all? Now you are on a higher level. Nick Avocado is the only true ex-vegan. If you know that, that is insane, isn't it? That guy, man, poor guy. But he has gone full throttle the other direction. Like he has gone full. There's a part of the human in me that admires that, but also sees that I feel like he must be in pain. But maybe I'm projecting onto him the way people have projected my pain onto me. But he's got to be hurting, but if not, he's really full throttle other direction. I literally just seen him pop up today eating some madness. Any trips, Tim the Piss Lord? What up, Joey? Would you ever consider going off grid? Yeah, I want to build towards that. I think that's what the gardening and having the allotment. We just took a second allotment now, so we're trying to. I'm really getting into the gardening is the plan. All right, trying to get through this knee health. Do you think fasting will heal my eczema? Fasting, it removed all the symptoms. My eczema cleared on my feet from the fast. That was one of the main things, but it came back when I reintroduced, I think sugary foods was the main thing. When am I back on Insta? Oh, you dare me about a dream you had, yeah? Maybe in the next few weeks. I did a photo, like I said, I did a photo shoot with Vivo, and I'm gonna have to post some of those photos. So I'll come back in the next few weeks. I looked healthy during my fast. Which part of my fast? I think I look pretty healthy now. Little. I've been puffy. I've been less. My body really reflects so quickly what I'm eating. Um, I'm not vegan, but why are you now interested in killing animals yourself? Seems grim. Now that is a great question, and the fact that it comes from a non-vegan is an important part of that, I think. Because if we are going to eat animals and we're not vegan, then I think we should either go through the process ourselves, watch someone do it, be connected to the process. I think if you see it, it's important to feel the emotions that will arise in consuming an animal, if in killing an animal, if you're going to consume it, and therefore that will put either more gratitude on you when you consume it, which is an important part of the nutrition you get from beyond the food, is the gratitude you feel as you're consuming it for the animal that you saw sacrifice its life unwillingly, as I'm sure people will say, or it will make you go vegan or vegetarian and not want to consume it. And I think then you're making a choice based on your own facing of reality. Hi Tim, were you eating a healthy vegan diet with B12 then went into fast? Why would I fast? No human on the planet wants to not eat for 24 hours for like some gain. Like, trust me, I didn't want to not eat. I was so desperate for answers, that I fasted. That was it, desperate for an answer. And it gave me my answer. It showed me my own box and limitation. You tried extremely unbalanced plant-based diets, fasting and drinking it. I tried a balanced plant-based diet and something was missing. I tried a whole food plant-based diet and something was missing. So I went to raw food, and raw food made all the sense in the world to me. And I tried a balanced raw food diet, and that something was missing in that. And I went back to cooked, and then I went back to a guilt-free diet and ate all the vegan food that I wanted, and that didn't work. And then I tried B12 injections and all that stuff, and it's the diet itself. People are really reverse engineering the whole thing. It was fascinating. Wacko Jacko Vegano. Yeah, I've seen this guy's not vegan anymore. You know what? I got nothing but love for him. He's a funny guy. I hope he's all right. I hope he's getting through the response he's getting. At least eating your words is vegan, though, isn't it? That's a bad joke, but a lot of people are going to eat their words. At least, you know, I'm happy he's finding his health and his family's health as well, because that's so important. That's why I'm speaking, because people are raising families, and this is off a belief set that's not based on a deep reality of humans. We've not ever had a society that's lived this way long term. Are you going on Joe Rogan when the time's right? How do I usually eat eggs? Scrambled or fried or raw? I've heard you're going on Joe Rogan. Is it true? Did you try the mucusless diet? Yes, I tried the mucusless diet. Didn't work. Didn't work. All that stuff. Alkaline, Sebi diet. Maybe the Sebi diet is meant for people of more, you know, melanin descent. Maybe it does work for some people, but there's something that is missing for my human on those diets. The mucusless diet makes so much sense to me. I gave a copy of the mucusless diet book to Jamie Oliver, feeling like I had the solution to everyone's health issues, while I'm the one that's doing the extreme acts of fasting and stuff. I'm sorry that I'm not looking at you guys in the eye. I'm just like constantly like staring and answering. When will you be doing a hunting video, and what will you eat? No, I'm like having to grandfather myself into adulthood. That's what it feels like. I'm having to like intelligently analyze what our ancestors would have raised us to do, and then take myself through those processes Like I asked the farmer today, can I come and watch? I asked him if I could watch an animal be slaughtered. I actually asked at the farm today to see it, and he said it's the abattoirs, a few miles away, and we're. But I'm actively trying to seek these things that we would have had access to. Whitaker versus Adesanya, who you got? That Adesanya fight, man. I love Whitaker. Whitaker's been one of my favorite for a while, man. I just the couple injuries, the hernia and that. I hope he's still got that same confidence that he started with, because he's fire. Whitaker's my guy, man. I love Adesanya and the way he talks about Player One. He references a lot of like anime. I just think he's got that self belief, so he could carry it through, man. It's so hard to call, but that fight is unreal. 100% will be interested in a retreat organised by you. Well, actually, I'm off to Snowdonia tomorrow to start my mountain leader training course. So I'm doing a 6-day mountain leader training course. So that will definitely tie in if you want to do some sort of retreat. Did you ever try FODMAP diet for your gut? That is a very good shout. I've studied some of Natasha Campbell McBride's work, Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, and the FODMAP. And she seems like a very intelligent, very balanced, very intellectual woman. And I've been looking at the FODMAP, the broths and all that, and just removing all the carbs from the diet to help heal the gut and build up. Why did you go on mainstream TV to tell a story that's only true for you? Ego, that's the only reason. Absolutely, it is. My ego has told me to not speak about this. It's told me to hide this all away because I was going to get a massive backlash and people would hate on me. People that liked me previously would really hate on me. And do you know what the ego does? It tells you not to do that stuff. It tells you no, because you won't be liked by these people. Because if you talk about the fact that you have drunk urine, everyone will think you're weird. That the ego doesn't want me to talk about that stuff. And I face it and I go, okay, I acknowledge that. But you've investigated life, you've investigated health of a human, of a British Western human body, and this diet doesn't work. It just doesn't work for you. And there's a lot of other people who are struggling too. There's a lot of other people who have found major healing when they've stopped being vegan, when they've come out of the other side of their belief system and acknowledged that it wasn't, there's a lot of things wrong with it in the first place. It tells me not to do that. The ego told me not to go on and talk that stuff, but I had to override that. I faced my fears and said, I understand that there's fear there, but this can help people. This is for humanity, because a lot of people aren't making rational choices right now, and I'm diving into this off of beliefs that aren't deep in our history of humans, but people see it as ego, and I understand that they'll see it as ego. And that I've been on this understanding. That's what led me to veganism, was understanding ego, and that's what's led me out of veganism, was understanding my ego was trapping me in veganism. And that's what makes me speak about it, because I understand the fear of my ego doesn't want me to be disowned by people that I like me, that doesn't want me to go through this. It's not fun for me to have people not like me like this. This attention is not what I'm about. I've always been an athlete, or and it's not that I care about enjoying my life, and I take myself out into nature on my own and enjoy things on my own without people watching or caring what people think of me. But there's no one likes to be hated or wants this attention for doing the things that I've done. But I'm one guy I wanted to be the savior that found the answer, because I saw people leaving veganism and I wanted to go, you know what? Just fast. You know what? Drink urine. That will solve it. I wanted a simple solution that every human could do. That's why I was doing it, because other people try all these other solutions that are expensive. You got to go through these health protocols, buy all these expensive supplements to do this. I thought, what if I can find something on the fringe that every human can do and can help everyone, that doesn't cost them anything. They just have to get over their own mind and try this stuff. That's where I was working on, the fringe stuff, the stuff that everyone can do. And I thought, if I found the answer there, And I did find the answer, and it just wasn't within the diet that we all thought it was. Me going vegan and then speaking about veganism publicly and openly made a lot of people think about their food choices. And overall, it was for the greater good. Now, and it caused a stir amongst the people that were around me and the people that supported me, but I wouldn't be guided by my fear of losing people that liked me or what people thought of me. I won't be guided by caring what people think of me against the truth, against my truth. And so I spoke about it, and it stirred some things, and it helped people rise in consciousness. And once again, I'm speaking my truth, and it caused a stir. People won't like it, but it will rise in people's consciousness. It will help people rise to a new understanding of one that we've been in denial of, that we are in denial of, that it's not the only way or the solution to everything that we thought it was. Big up Kipchoge. Yeah. Sverige, please don't start following Sverige madness. The vegans and Sverige are two sides of the same coin right now, man. Both, I get it. I see both sides, and I understand why both sides are doing what they're doing. But either way, it's not the solution. Well, humans can do what they want to do, you know. But to think that they're not the same on the other side, when you witness it from an outside perspective, they're both two sides of the same coin. And the universe has produced carnivore movement to oppose the vegan movement, which has appeared, which has imbalanced things of human nature and harmony with the earth. Veganism is not the way it's done nowadays, is not in harmony with that. And so this movement's appeared to counteract that. Hey, former vegan for 4 years and ended up incredibly deficient. It wasn't until I added animal products back in that my body started healing. Most people don't want to believe the truth. I know. If people are fine on it, they're fine on it. If they're truly fine, that's good to them. But Tim, talk to Michael Greger live. He would take the chat. McGregor's health has declined since I started following that guy. He's another, like, these doctors, they've got to be trapped more than the influencers, because their whole careers on like everything's on the line for them, you know. I have lost it 100% apparently. Hide users' comments. Hey, just like I filter my water, I can filter my internet. Isn't that useful? Eating animals contributes to 51% of emissions and is one of the leading causes of climate change. You can't just throw out facts like that. Because I can walk to the farm shop and see the chickens and buy eggs. That's animal product. That's not consuming to 51% of the emissions. Whereas if you buy vegan produce, vegan Ben and Jerry's, as I will keep saying, from the supermarket that's been imported from how many ingredients imported to one location to be put together to be imported there, that's causing emissions way more than me buying meat and eggs from Betty's. So you can just repeat facts, but it ain't nothing. Am I still seeing Pav? No. Truly love that girl though. She's wicked. I think anyone who can should go vegan. Others should reduce their meat consumption. A true researcher leaves no stone unturned. Exactly. And I was leaving the animal product stone unturned for way too long. Something that I was healthy as a young person and something that I did then. But how do we get around the evil pesticide industry? Grow home produce, garden. And this is the tough thing, because veganism is a massive city movement. And I understand when you're in a city and you don't see the fields for the crops, you don't see the animal thing. It seems like I'll just not fuck with the animals and I'll just buy this stuff. And it's just a tough thing. How do you provide for so many humans in a city? Because they can't have gardens. But if you need Get out of the city, get an allotment, get a garden, get a local farm shop. Just try and support local farmers. I think local farmers, they're our ancestors' best friends, and they can still be ours. Whether it's vegan or not, your farm shop is the one. Veganism isn't about being perfect. Being human isn't about being perfect. It's about reducing suffering, I agree. So for me, eating animal products was reducing suffering. How can we go? Chickpeas, just regurgitating other people's stuff. Why do you interpret your wet dream as a good sign? I agree. I actually agree. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just said it's interesting. People interpret it how they want. Ejaculation isn't this, but it's. I guess it's. But I can see both sides of it. I can see why it's good, because it's reproduction of life, right? And then why it's bad. You want to keep your seed in for your energy or whatever people think it does. I don't need to see a medical doctor if. Did you ever actually see a medical doctor to show the vegan diet was the cause? If I wasn't feeling good and I stopped and I changed something and I felt better, then whatever I changed it doesn't need a medical doctor to tell me that that worked. So when I changed my diet and ate animal products and felt better, then I don't need a medical doctor to tell me that the animal products made me better and the diet was failing me. Well done, vegan hit woman. If it's working for you, it's working for you. Doesn't mean that you're killing less animals than me. Exactly. Ego wants you to hide. It wants you to not face up, and egos want you to lie. Exactly. I'm proud of you for talking to the TV. Thank you, Sarah. It was tough, and even after that was the next day. I walked up Snowdon with my dad, and it's like, I know there's this madness kicking off online about me, and I've only got the best interests of humanity in my heart. Like, I really want to help humans, and I want to help the earth and animals. But there's a mindset within a lot of vegans that this is just the only solution, and it causes no harm or suffering to animals, and it's just not the only way. It's not. It's really not. We've got to accept all forms of ethical choices for the earth. Being such a long time vegan, do you experience any type of shame or any amount of regret for now eating animal products? I don't, but I do still get that the mindset of an animal suffering, but I just can't help the feeling that I currently feel that there's something natural in it now that is like that I just didn't get before. That may even be wrong, and in the future, if it feels wrong, I'll come round to it again. But the fact that it's given me health, I just can't deny something in that. You know, are you still in Madeira? No, I'm not. I'm at home at the moment in Derby. The problem is veganism became bigger than me. That is so mad. Like, became bigger because of me. I helped it, but that's when I believed in it, and then I stopped believing it because my health went. Just be you. History. I miss your vlogs. I'll come back. Your skin looks good. Thank you. Have you actually healed then? Okay, so that's a very good question. I started to make a video on it, but wasn't quite happy with it. Some of the things that I've healed, I got some. Look at this little notebook here. But the top 5 things that I mentioned that healed, and we'll run through them quickly, was my recovery, really. My joints, my muscles were like, and I said it before, like an old elastic band that's about to snap when you do anything with it. And I look like a healthy human now, and I'm all right, and I can go to CrossFit and yoga and move around. But honestly, my life was absolutely miserable without being able to do anything physical because I was getting injured so quickly. And yes, I may have burnt through my supplies quicker because with all the running and training that I was doing, you might be able to sustain a vegan diet for 10 more years if you don't do anything physical and not notice a decline as quickly as I noticed it. But for me, there was a decline there. Uh, Mindset versus the world versus the family. There's a real projection when you're vegan of you've got the solution to everyone's, and this isn't for everyone, and there are people that are completely balanced with this and don't have this. I could not hold this judgment of all of the humans walking down the street, seeing people in restaurants in the Lake District. You see people eating meat, and you just, oh, these people, they think they love nature, but they don't love nature, and you project on your family saying, my mother thinks she's loving, but she eats animals and she doesn't have a clue, and all this projection onto other people. That when that's gone, that is a massive weight of healing of your body, of not thinking you have the answer for the world. So that was a good lesson for me to release that. Our ancestors, yeah, to be in denial of that our ancestors were unethical, were mean, were unconscious, unaware. The fact that our ancestors always ate animals, they were disconnected from the realities of life and the land. To hold that belief was a good one to release as well. The second biggest one was satiation, and I think most people get this when they're vegan. Most people get this when they stop being vegan. They realize how unsatiated they were the whole time, and how much they overconsumed food. I ate so much and was never satisfied. I'd have like my biggest wooden bowl. I'd fill with salad and then maybe rice and chickpeas and whatever, and I'd eat it, and I'd feel my stomach would be full, but I wouldn't be satisfied. So then I'd have a smoothie with like bananas and big chocolate smoothie, peanut butter, and I'd have that, and I'd be, whoa, way out here, and I wouldn't be satisfied. And as you see me mention in other videos, I'd go to the bathroom. I did it a couple of times, and I was like, what's going on here? And I'd have to empty my stomach out because it'd be so uncomfortable, but I was never satisfied. Now when I consume a meal with animal products in it, I feel satiated the whole time for the last 2-3. It got this voice. There was a voice of hunger that I wasn't sat for years. The last few years, it got louder and louder in my head, and it was like just in here, just like, you need to eat something. You need to eat something. And I'd always have a snack with me. I'd always have bananas with me. I'd have snack bars all the time. I'd eat until almost the time I went to bed. And so I had to fast, an intermittent fasting, to like have these extended periods when I wouldn't eat. But then when I'd eat, it wouldn't go away. And that's why I got into fasting, because I thought I had some proper eating disorder where I just was so attached to eating, and I couldn't think of anything but eating, and I couldn't really do anything physical with my body. So I couldn't train. So my only real satisfaction from life then came from the taste buds. So then I'd eat to satisfy that, but then it wasn't contributing anything to my physical body. And then when I ate animal products, I was like, oh, that was the biggest sign for me. It was like, oh, I can go for 6 hours and not think about food. It wasn't my issue. It was the fact that my body was asking for food. I always gave it growing up. My parents gave it growing up, and I wasn't giving it. My body was screaming for animal products, and I didn't know it until I ate them. And then it went to voice silence, and I can eat and go for hours and not think about food and not feel starving. So all of my stuff, it was like, that's one of the biggest things I think people realize when they reintroduce animal products, is the satiation aspect that animal products give them. And it took me months to realize that a normal plate size is a normal plate size. Because when you're vegan, your life is all about food, and you make these massive bowls and get to enjoy all this food. And I thought, yeah, well, I love eating anyway, so I get to eat more now I'm vegan. But it was just causing me, that's part of what caused the gut issues, was me not listening to my body asking me for a certain food type that I wasn't giving it, and being in denial of that. And then now I reintroduce animal products. I understand what it feels like to feel full and not have this voice in your head telling you to go eat, go get more food, that you're not satisfied to do this stuff. And number one was depression. This veil over life that was just glooming on me, that just made everything miserable. Every interaction, every day was a drag. I had no productivity. I just had energy to drive to do anything. And that I just was like driving around like, whoa, can I feel this happy? Is this all right? And all that change was adding the animal products to my diet. Diet isn't the solution to every human issue. I agree, it's not the solution to every human issue, but I think it's the foundation of 80% of our body. We talk about weight gain. People go to the gym, they can eat shit and go to the gym all they want, but they'll still be fat. It's like 80% of it's diet. And it's the same with mental. You look at someone like Michaela Peterson and the Petersons and the depression that was in their family and the arthritis and stuff, and how diet had a massive effect on clearing them of, taking them off antidepressants and stuff like that. Getting diet right is a very important thing for our health. For the earth, it's very important to get right as well. So we have to consider all these things. So it is important to. It doesn't solve everything. There's massive emotional issues, childhood traumas that we need to work on, emotional releases we need to get through. But diet lays the foundation for a sort of our strength of a human to get through that. Ever studied free man sovereignty stuff? I have studied it a bit, but it's not something I've massively gone into now. But I'm definitely that way of thinking of trying to be a free man of the land and just travel around the UK. You know, you tried all this stuff, Tim, but you have not tried Jesus. Here's the solution. Not needed. I think that one day I'll just be some Christian guy. That'll be it. But I don't know. Part of me is like everything. All the answers I have are inside. Like, if I was just born here and I went to the mountains, I wouldn't know the shit about Jesus or Christianity, and that's my church. You know, that's all that we need is the mind you're given, your body, and what's around you. Have vegans attacked you seriously? If by seriously you mean in person, not yet, but I've had some dirty looks, and one guy wouldn't shake my hand the other day at a race. He was wearing a vegan runner's top, and he came up to me and said to him, and I went to shake his hand, and he wouldn't shake it. Do you know whether pigeons were shot or prison to grow this bread? What? Oh yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Did you know whether pigeons were shot or poisoned to grow this bread? That's no vegan ever. That's it. We don't know what animals were killed. Holy shit. Vegans and Sfarig are the same. One cares about humans, one cares about animals. If one day you decide vegans and plant-based are mostly so is right for you, for animals, for humankind. If one day you decide veganism, plant-based, or mostly so is right for you, for animals, for earth, for humankind, would it be difficult for you to say so or do so in public? Would it be humbling? That's what I just did. I just did the difficult thing to come this way, so of course I'd do it again. But I do think a mostly plant-based diet of people consuming plants from a garden they're growing themselves is better for earth, for humankind. I just think that there's deficiencies with the diet. It's nutritionally incomplete for a lot of humans. Maybe if you're raised in it, maybe if you've got a certain blood type, or not even a blood type, I think a certain heritage, maybe ancestry, maybe it's more possible. But I think for most humans, to make the choice from a belief set, living in a Western world is dangerous for their own health, and that's why I speak. But if I'm brought with other information, I think right now of all times, with all the Wi-Fi's and EMTs and everything around, we need the most optimum nutrition to get this right. And with all the emotionally instability that's going around from school childhood traumas and online bullying and everything, we need to get nutrition right more than ever to stay as balanced as possible. And so to getting that right, and then if we're all healthy and loving and harmony and Garden of Eden's here, you know, maybe we could all live off fruit, but then fruit's been changed so much, you know, we just be breatharian. I thought I'd be breatharian before I'd not be vegan. Truth will set you free. Yeah. Hey Tim, thanks for all you do for the humans. You're welcome, man. Do I still drink distilled water? A lot of people asking that. I do, but I remineralize it with salt. Oh my gosh, just when I think I've caught up to the questions. This is crazy. Okay, I'm going to do 15 more minutes because I got yoga tonight with the CrossFit crew, and I got some stuff I wanted to talk about. Game of Thrones. Anyone watch Game of Thrones? I finally watched the second episode of season 8. It's so cool watching all the people around the fire. All the homies from all the different groups. Who do I think is going to be on the throne? Not Aegon Targaryen. I reckon it's going to be, what's his name? The one who just slept with Arya, the Baratheon guy. If that's possible for him to be it, I think it'll be him. Well, UFC, what's coming up? Rose Namajunas is fighting. What would Shenji think? Shenji, is that my homie? It's in Costa Rica. Uh, I have a garden in the city. No, that's cool. If you can have a garden in the city, great. Do your thing. I'm not trying to say you can't have a garden. I'm saying it's harder to have it, but if you can do it, amazing. Have you done MDMA? Yeah, I have. Not often. Years ago, I did it a bit more. Science has proven we all have bio-individuality, which what works for one person doesn't work for another. Pranic living breatharianism. Yeah, man, I was reading books on breatharianism, watching, what's that guy, Ray Moore or something? It's like Ray Mears. Like Ray Mears is wicked, but Ray Moore's cool. Body is just an avatar, you are not the body. I agree, but there's chemistry involved in the physical realm, the 3D realm. You've got to respect the chemistry and electricity of the realm. It's interesting how some people decline quicker than others. Yeah, some people notice it. Some people, one of the hardest factors for not noticing decline in health from whatever diet we choose is our attachment to the diet. And so I think if I wasn't attached to the belief system and hadn't been so outspoken, I might have noticed a lot quicker. You see someone like Primal Edge Health, who was just trying to eat the best diet for his health, he noticed within a year or two and moved away from it. And other people, 6 months in, athletes choose it and they quickly step away from it and brush under the carpet. Like you see Nate Diaz or Djokovic or Serena Williams still getting credit for being vegan athletes, and they're definitely not vegan athletes. And I think they quickly moved. They tried it, felt a bit better, and then a few months later, they get the fasting, they get the short-term benefits of it, and then the long-term kicks in and they step away from it quickly. But the more attached we are, the harder it is to notice it. And then some people aren't as physical, so then it can go further. And there is definitely spiritual aspects to the raw vegan diet where I felt a certain level of spiritual alignment that's different. But then there's just other issues like gut issues that come along with that as well. So there's no free rides for whatever diet we choose. It sort of depends what realms we're exploring. Thank you for being understanding, people. Go nutritarian. Health is power. Yeah, all about nutrition. I'm going to try the all new tree bark diet. Is that like DMT or ayahuasca? Yeah, something about athletes, they are more open to having to change their diet. I think they're open to exploring things to improve it. And I think everyone's an athlete because they've got a body, but your athletic potential is an extension of your nutritional skill and your genetic capabilities, I guess. But one thing I've noticed as a pattern with a lot of the people that have become sort of ex-vegan in the last 6 months, year, a lot of spiritual people, or what I know that's a fucking douchey term, right? Spiritual people and athletes are the two people that seem to be stepping away. People that are both listening to the body and asking questions of the universe and open to answers and open to questioning their egos. The ones that are so, I'm not saying if you remain vegan or you are vegan, you're not either of these. You can absolutely be fully spiritually vegan. But I'm saying that's just something I've noticed as a trend of people that are in those two realms seem to be the ones stepping away. Not so much the like activist type, which is just focused on external and not on their own well-being at all. Some vegans are violent towards farmers and violent towards people eating meat in restaurants. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. While you were vegan, I only wanted to comment that you don't look good anymore. There's times on vegan I look great, and there's times on vegan I didn't look so good. There's times not vegan I look great. There's times not vegan didn't look good. Like it's a daily basis. It's an emotional thing. It's a bad hair day. The diet is within each diet. There's ways to be good, look good and bad, but what's on the outside isn't always the reality of everything. Do you like the taste of meat, and which animals do you like the best? I enjoyed eating vegan food a lot more than not eating vegan, but now I'm eating more for health than for enjoying my food. So I don't enjoy food as much now, but it's nostalgic. I never had these issues. You ate a fruitarian diet. I ate a fruitarian diet at the end after I got issues from the plant-based diet. I don't know how many times I will have to say that, and please forgive me to those that keep hearing me have to say that got it the first time I said it. But I did the fruitarian diet because the vegan diet was deficient, and I was searching for something deeper for the answer. Yes, female bodies. Oh, just when I catch up. I honestly don't care that you're not vegan anymore. It doesn't affect my life. Do whatever the fuck you want. All I ask is that you don't promote consumption of animal flesh. So I can do what I want, but I can't do what you want me to do that you don't want me to do. I'm American and British. I've got dual citizenship. Oh man. Oh, there we go. I'm caught up. Have you heard of Foot Soldier? He seems obsessed with you. Is that the guy that wears the face mask that won't even put his face on the internet? Like, what's that about? Shenji, I spent time with that man though. He's not fruitarian. I do love him though. What's your view on how to be happy? Yeah, man, that is like, you got to have your cosmic sail up, and you've got to know which way the winds are blowing for you to remain happy, and like turn the sail at the right way at the right time to float on happiness. Because it's like surfing, man. Just when you say, "Oh, I'm doing it," you fall off. So you've got to, I think astronomy actually, which might be weird for some people. I got an app called The Pattern, which gives me a daily update of sort of the cosmic winds of universal energies, as mad as that might sound for some people. And that's actually really useful just for knowing what's going on, just to navigate a bit easier. I think astrology is something that is out there, that's put into our universe, that we have a mind to comprehend, that we're removed from because we're not taught it in school. And it does always fascinate me how some people just, it's like astronomy and astrology is just built into their, wired into their mindset from when they were young, and like they just have this knowledge of it and can just rattle it off like, oh yeah, Neptune's entering this and it's squared up with that, so this is going to happen. You're like, what? So they just have this, it's like a sixth sense built into them for astrology, and we're just like, we're just supposed to ignore this. Like there's stars up there all the time at night, but I've got to learn about you know, technology at school and learn about, not that technology is awesome, but I've got to learn this drama class, but there's this stuff going off out there that's no relation to what's going on in my body at all. Maybe not. Have you taken LSD? I've done microdose LSD. Yo, bro, your vegans are my heroes was the final part of the puzzle for me, mate. We see back on this side. There's no sides to this, man. I'm on Earth's side, human side, animal side. There's just different understandings of how we do that. Right, are we nearly there? We've got 7 minutes. I didn't actually celebrate 420 in the end. Not that way anyway. I went for a walk. Yorkshire Dales. I want to do the Yorkshire Three Peaks again. Thank you, James. I will say adding animal products didn't solve absolutely everything. I'm not like completely healed of everything because of it, but it stopped me going from this to this and a little bit of this. So I'm like here, and there's still other things. I've started to supplement things in my diet. I understand that foods are nutritionally deficient or whatever. So I've added some supplements just to try that realm. And that was a block in my mind of like, yeah, I don't need to do this. If the diet's perfect, I don't need to do this stuff. So I've added stuff in, but you know, that stuff wouldn't have given me recovery or a wet dream or lifted my depression from supplements, or I wouldn't have felt satiated from supplements. So there's things that it's given me and there's things that it's not giving me. So I've been open to trying other things. So I'm trying Longevity. They do some supplements that are good, multivitamins and stuff, probiotics. What else? Vegan food is yummy. Yes, it is. Do you still buy non-food products that are vegan? I like going to vegan restaurants and getting like salads and whole food things now, like non-sweet stuff, like whole food, like the clean spots. How much did Jamie Oliver pay you to go on national TV and denounce you? That's so funny, man. I wouldn't eat meat for £1 billion. I wouldn't have eaten meat for £1 billion, honestly, for infinity, all the money in the world. But a change in beliefs, a change deep down inside of me, of the universe, of me asking questions of the world, of the universe, and being shown different answers that cannot be explained to anyone but those that have felt it themselves, that would change me. That would get me to do it and to denounce a movement that is so convinced it's for the health of humans and the earth and isn't necessarily the case. And we need to keep being open. The way we're open to veganism in the first place, we need to be open to looking beyond it for helping the earth and for animals. And I'm not telling people to eat meat or eggs or animal products, but I'm saying to decide that this is the only way and to fucking denounce, shout at others and ridicule them, for their change in choices of life is just so unstable. I thought when I was going to stop being vegan and I came to the realization, I thought, you know what? People won't mind. Like, people are secure in their beliefs. It doesn't matter what I do. If they're secure in their beliefs, it doesn't matter what I do. And this just showed to me how insecure people are in their beliefs, the fact that they're so upset by it. Which shows that the truth is not on that side. Like, not that veganism can't be the truth for people, but it's not the full truth of what we think it is, of this answer to every problem that we think it is, because of that much energy and fear is involved in that community. It's not rational or balanced at the moment. It is in parts, but for the most part, it's not there. Placebo. Oh yeah. Yes, Felix, Vipassana time. That is, yeah, pilgrimage and Vipassanas. Yeah, you can see clearly. Is this it? Right. Any more notes here? David Attenborough's got a new show on Netflix. I think it's all the offcuts from the show they just did on BBC. That one was really good on BBC. The one on Netflix is all right. Chris Lilly's got a new show. If you know Summer Heights High, that's one of the best comedies of all time. And he's got a new show on Netflix, which is all right. Not as good as Summer Heights High, but that is absolute classic. So you're never going to reach that, but it's still all right. Cuckoo, if you don't know that show, is one of the best spiritual comedies. Season 1 is on, all the 5 seasons are on BBC iPlayer, but you can just watch season 1 because Andy Samberg is in that, and it's British comedy. It's just set in Lichfield, which is like 15 minutes down the road from me. And what is not done enough in comedy is the mixture of British and American humor, because it's done so well and it's sort of spiritual as well. So I definitely recommend you, if you want a program recommendation, Cuckoo on BBC iPlayer. I've been watching manga. I got into it recently. Hunter x Hunter is good. Seven Deadly Sins was all right. Sword Art Online was all right. Attack on Titan was all right. But Hunter x Hunter I would recommend for anyone who does or does not like manga. CrossFit Open. I didn't upload 19.5, but if you know what that means, and you know if you did 19.5, I actually completed 19.5 and I was amazed. I had no expectations of doing it. I finished it within the 20-minute time cap. Now I'm going to go to yoga. I've got my water. I'm going to have my nettle tea. Last questions, big closing thoughts, anyone? That explains a lot, Chickpea Sani. I do not watch Black Mirror. That's so eerie. Don't watch things that are eerie. Well, I can't tell you what to do. Do what you want. But things that are eerie, man, they're doing something to your subconscious. Protect your subconscious like a baby. Have a rewatch, Eco. Nah, it's just water and salt. Will I talk to Bobby on stream? That's a great question. I just messaged Bobby. I'm going to chat to Bobby. I'm going to chat to a few people now. Time to come do some talking. I didn't want to do what I saw loads of ex-vegans do and just be like, just popping up every day on YouTube, like they're just capitalizing on this thing to make views for their channel. And this is not what this is about at all. This isn't about capitalizing on any moments to do something. It's about staying integral, staying authentic, trying to help people find their better health. And through people finding better health, we can make more conscious choices for the future of the earth. Whatever that is for each person is individual. And yeah. All right. Much love to you all. Have a great weekend from tomorrow. I hope you had a good Easter and all that. I'll see you all soon. Yeah. Peace out.